Let's just get situated here. Okay. So today we're gonna dissect a cart, and this is the first time I've ever done this. At least this decade. I feel like when I was a kid, I may have torn apart a couple carts. But so right here we have the Kool-Aid Man cartridge for the Atari video computer system, the VCS. This was released in 1983. You can see on the top, Singapore, 1983. How's it going, Brett? You can see we're looking at the Kool-Aid Man cart, which was produced by Mattel. And believe it or not, this was released in 1983. You can see this is an M network game. What's cool about these carts is the way that they're shaped, right? Has a very unique look about it, right? It doesn't look like the standard rectangle shape of some of the other carts. But what's super interesting to me, the only way to get this cart in 1983 is to collect proof of purchases from Kool-Aid packets, right? Which sold for a nickel or a dime back in 1983. So you clipped, 125 proof of purchases and sent these out, and they send you this game cart back. And unfortunately, this particular cart doesn't work, because if you look closely at it, you'll see part of the chip is destroyed here. It's actually part of the physical chip is broken off here. And so you can see these pins. This last pin is broken off. So when I put in the cartridge and I power it up, you see like some kind of images on the screen, but you can't start the game, you can't play the game. Rather than just tossing this cartridge, I figured let's take it apart and see what this chip looks like on the inside, right? So how do we do that? That is the $1 million question. Just looking at it for seams, first off. Quite honestly, the only seam that I'm seeing is this base piece here. And also I see these. I was going to use a Phillips head and see if I could pop those down. And also if you look in here, these little divots here, which may, I don't know exactly how to take this thing apart, but my thought is if I can just depress these and pull this off, this bottom piece would pop off and the chip would be attached. So again, this is not a playable game. For the chipboard itself is damaged, so I'm not able to play it. So I'm going to rip it apart and see what we can find. So let's go for it, right? Okay. And it's okay if it breaks, because again, it's not working anyways. Are we making any progress? Oh, maybe. I don't think I can repair it, man. I'd love to, but like, see, it's missing. The chipboard is literally broken off. So I don't think there's any save in this, unfortunately, without replacing that chip. So yeah, so I don't think it's savable, but I want to be able to see in there. See how this end should be flat as well, but it's jagged there because it's missing one pin. It's like before I got my hands on it, somehow that piece of the chipboard snapped off. And so yeah, so now the gameplay is impossible. So I just want to get in there and see what the chipboard looks like. I know these games are super simple, and I think it's just like the ROM, which holds the memory and the graphics, and then the chip, the board itself. That this is going to be all your gameplay, right? Your zeros and ones. I just want to pop it open and take a look at it. Oh, there it goes. Got it. All right. So, man, again, so the only way to get this Kool-Aid Man game in 1983 was to clip and send 125 Kool-Aid proof of purchases. So for roughly $2 or so, with shipping. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. I was just saying for about $2 you could get this cart with 125 proof of purchases for Kool-Aid packs. Ooh, okay. So we got, what do we got here? So this is the actual game cart here. This is the actual chip, which rests in here. And let's see if we can pull that out. I might need some pliers. Which I can grab some if I need to, but I might be able to pry it out without. Also, does this open? I'm not seeing a seam anywhere. I think this is one solid piece of plastic. So they must just drop in this chip. I feel like we can probably squeeze it out with a little force. Or not. Man, it's in there really way more snug than I hoped, but let's see. Oh, you tuned in earlier, Brett, for the live stream? Yeah, it was just trying Frogger, but man, I could not. For the life of me, I couldn't beat the second level. Yeah, some days. There it goes. Okay. Boom. And it's popped right out. And you can see this is the entire game. The label itself has the year 1983 on there. Toasted wheat, caught it in 4K. Sweet. But yeah, the label itself for the Kool-Aid Man cartridge dated 1983. And then the chip is dated 1982. Is sort of interesting. I'm not sure the months, but I'm sure it was probably manufactured in 82 and then released in 83, right? Okay, we have Singapore on there. We have some markings, right? Not sure what any of these mean. Yeah, hey, Speed Stack, this is definitely the Atari 2600. We're looking at Kool-Aid Man because if you look at this chip right here, okay, and now that I have it apart, see, the reason that I took this apart is because I could not get the game to work inside of my system. And, you know, I remember playing Kool-Aid Man as a kid and I always had a lot of fun playing that game. And I always thought it was fascinating that you can get it with just some proof of purchases. But yeah, I'm trying to, at this point, I thought that the chipboard itself was actually damaged. And now that I have it apart, it doesn't look damaged. So I'm just going to give it a really good clean and then try and reassemble it. And hopefully I can get it to work in the 2600. So yeah, here goes. Let's get some alcohol going on a Q-tip and just scrub this sucker clean and see if we can get it to play. Okay, we'll just go in the cap here. Just got some isopropyl, 91%, and we're just gonna scrub this chip real good. Just to make sure we get all the grime off. And honestly, just like by looking at it, it doesn't look that bad. But I say that, but you can see there's a little bit of grime on there. So definitely, yeah, definitely a little bit of grime and build up. Just gonna scrub it really good, make sure that we get all these pins cleaned off. And I think these are double-sided, yeah. So I'm gonna scrub the back of the pins as well. Just make sure there's no gunk or buildup. And honestly, it's not bad. But you can see we're getting a little bit, I mean, there's 40 years of buildup. So yeah, it's definitely getting some grime off there. Dude, I literally thought that this, I'm pleasantly surprised because I thought that this chipboard was damaged. I thought that it was snapped off. Because when I turn it on, I can see some kind of images, but I'm not able to start the game and play the game. So I wanted to pop it apart. And unfortunately, I think this must be the ROM, right? Buried under this glob. So if I'm not mistaken, it's like the entire, like all of the memory and the graphics live in this little piece under this glob, and then the chips here all have to do with gameplay, right? And then the pins here is how your game connects with your system and plays. Yeah, I wonder if I can reassemble this now. I was pretty rough at ripping this apart because I thought the board was broken. I thought there was no chance in saving it. So let's see if we can get it back together. Okay. I just use a screwdriver to open up the gap a little bit. Just enough to slide it in. There we go. Okay, it's in there. And top just slid in. Yeah, it definitely did break the cartridge, which that's a bummer. But again, the I was a little rough on it because I didn't think that there was any saving it. But yeah, pleasantly surprised. Hopefully just that little cleaning is all we need. I think I'm gonna let it dry overnight before I put it in the machine. I don't want to get the Atari wet in any way. So yeah, I'm gonna plug it into the Atari 2600 and see if we can get it rocking. And I hope so, man. If I can get, I tell you what, if I can get the, if this actually works, then I'm gonna do a live stream and see what we can do for gameplay and see if we can figure out how to play. So that's the thing about these old games, unless you have the manual. Yeah, unless you have the manual, then it's tough to even figure out what you're gonna, how to play the game, what the point of the game is, controls, the plot. But it's Kool-Aid Man, so I'm sure you just smash through walls, right? Anyways, thanks for tuning in to Nick White Classics. This is the first time I ever tore one of these carts apart, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So hopefully we can get this working, and we can do some gameplay of Kool-Aid Man from 1983. Thanks for tuning in. If you like classic, retro gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and check back often. Have a good night. Oh, yeah, you're right, Brett. I appreciate that. That's actually the thought that crossed my mind about a schedule. Um, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 nights a week around 8:30, 9 o'clock seems to work really well for me. And then randomly, periodically throughout the week. Throughout the weekend at random times. But yeah, let me work on that. Maybe next week I could have a schedule published. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and talk to you soon. Later.